Welcome, everybody, to your favorite podcast for the spoops, the creeps, and the cryptids, the Paranatural Cryptid Preservation Society. Grab your snacks. It's time for the creepy. We are bringing you two underrated, really scary, really creepy cryptids that not a lot of people know about, except, unless you're a part of the First Nations, the Cherokee, to be precise, or you live in Maryland. And apparently, even if you do live in Maryland, you don't know about it.
Right?
So what do you got for us, Khelek?
All right. So the Snallygaster is this crazy cryptid that took place first appeared in Maryland in 1730. German immigrants, they came here to settle and everything, and essentially they were plagued by this giant winged creature that would steal cattle. It would kill humans. I mean, it was not a good creature at all. This thing was said to have a 30 to 40 foot wingspan, a long beak, like metallic beak, meat hooks for basically talons, and depending on when you actually, who you talk to and when, it also had octopus-like tentacles that would come out of its mouth to grab its victims. It would have either a single eye in the middle of its head, two red eyes, or a whole head full of eyes. So,
like a spider.
I think, right. So I think what basically happened to this is the same thing that happened to old Wendy Boy, where it just shh, don't say that name. So essentially, I think it kind of blew out of proportion and may have had a bit of H.P. Lovecraftian theme thrown in it for good measure. But
I mean, it does have a Cthulhu vibe to it with the tentacles.
Right. And I think that even still, like the original description of the creature is just terrifying. The Germans called it the Snallygaster, which means quick spirit. And it was supposed to be half bird, half reptile. They claim that it had nightmarish features like demon or ghoul. But yeah, the Snallygaster is this mean creature that has been seen all throughout Maryland. So yeah, in fact, it was at one point, it was so well known in the early 1900s that the Smithsonian Institution actually put out a reward for its hide. And it was like 100,000. What's that?
No, I was just laughing because, I mean, how many museums do you know about that put out a hit on a cryptid?
Right? They wanted a $100,000. They were putting out a $100,000 reward for this creature's hide. They wanted it dead and they wanted its skin. Now, one of the descriptions of this is that its skin is impenetrable. So, yeah, people have been reported to try to shoot it to no effect. I mean, this thing is basically bulletproof. It is, nightmare, terror from above kind of thing. Silent hunter, it makes no noise other than when it screeches like a locomotive whistle, which, that's terrifying. So, yeah, I mean, that's
nightmare fuel. Yeah, right? That is gnarly. It's nightmare fuel is what that is. I mean,
this thing is
death from above.
Right. And that's a 40-foot wingspan. I mean, to put it into perspective, that is the full length of a full-size school bus. That's huge. So imagine like the biggest school bus, which is, I think, around 42 feet, and that is the wingspan of this creature.
That's a negative,
It's
my
terrifying.
friend. No,
right?
Thank you. I don't want to. That's not something that I want to come across. Just trying to camp. You know how many times we've been wanting to go camping, right? We've all wanted to go and do this stuff. But as soon as we talk about going camping, we've always got a horror story that always like people back out. Including one of our listeners, including, our social media manager here, one of them, Tina, she has backed out. I don't know how many times of camping. I've tried to get her to go camping. Like, I want to go camping. I do. But then we've got these cryptids. We've got Wendy Boy, then we had the Fae that were luring people, to their doom out there, dancing around haunted dolls and stuff. And now we've got giant vampiric pterodactyl with a wingspan of a magic school bus. I'll pass. I don't want it.
Now,
no, thank you.
One thing that was said to have reportedly worked was a 7-pointed star that they would paint on their barn. That the settlers would paint on their barns, and that was said to protect them from these creatures. So. And now they're just known as barn stars. So, which you can actually, if you go to Maryland, supposedly still barns with big stars, 7-pointed stars painted on their roofs, on the walls of the barns. I mean, they were very serious about this.
That's crazy, because that goes all the way. Like, they do the same thing in Texas, like on their barns and decoration. You get them in cut and steel and all that stuff. That's crazy.
Right.
Oh,
that's where that.
Oh,
well, we do.
Yeah, we already got comments, girl.
Let's Here we go.
Looks like I'm not getting any sleep tonight. I'm going to make me a cup of coffee.
I'm sorry.
No sleep for you.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. This is good for you, Tina. This is good for you. Because by the time we get into like season 2 of our podcast, you're going to be like numb, girl. You're not going to be afraid of nothing. Nothing. You're going to have an arsenal.
That hardened cryptid warrior.
Yeah. She's going to know how to fight everything at this point. You won't more fear.
Gonna have like that utility belt with like sage and a lighter and EMF readers, silver bullets, and she's gonna be armed to the teeth.
She's all of it. I'm serious. With a bag of chicken nuggets. Living
on Pluto.
Yep, living on Pluto with sweet and sour sauce and ranch, unless she's with Dylan, because then Dylan doesn't get no sauce. He gets dry chicken nuggets. Let's see what else we got here.
I'm not just backing out of camping. I'm backing out of Earth. I'm backing out of this whole atmosphere. I'm backing out. I'm backing out.
I knew it was
I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to see if NASA can hook me up with a rocket that can send my tail to Pluto.
Yep, there we go.
I'm backing out.
No. You called it, Khelek.
I'm going to step on out of here and be with my buddies and my chicken nuggies and on Pluto.
There it is.
Yep. And y'all gonna say it's nightmare fuel and it's in Maryland. All right. Y'all gonna sleep just fine. Y'all gonna sleep just fine tonight. I'm not.
Poor thing. Oh no.
You're not sorry. I already knew that from the get-go. I already knew this already. So where's the love? Where is it? I don't see it, even with my glasses.
Look here. Hold on a second. I do love you. That's why I'm making sure that you know how to kill these things and how to protect yourself. That's another whole side to this podcast. We do make sure that you are armed, lady. Okay? You may be scared right now, but once you have all of the knowledge and you arm yourself, like we were saying, you'll have the utility. You'll be like Sam and Dean. Okay, you'll have the trunk full of all of your goodies to fight all the bad things in the dark, and you won't be afraid no more. You'll be like kicking butt and stuff. It'll be great. I love you. That's why I'm doing this. Man, I'm offended now.
How am I going to fight that flying thing? You just said the skin is it can't be penetrated. You already said that. So how am I shoot?
There's got to be.
What am I gonna do? Throw a rock at it?
Paint the star.
What am I gonna
do?
Throw a shoe? Stomp my foot? Show my dog? He'll probably use Toto like a damn toothpick.
Aww.
Show my dog.
And I'm probably the one to blame for this one because I found this creature while I was researching for old Wendy Boy. So
it's not even my fault this time.
I found it. I bookmarked it. I was like, I got to talk about this at some point because this is just too good and too little known. I mean, the people need to hear this. This is exciting stuff. And I say exciting, you say terrifying, both sides of the same coin. You know, it's
an adrenaline rush either way. Either way, it's adrenaline rush.
I look at it like this. No matter what it is, if it's part of this natural world, I find it absolutely fascinating because how did this creature come to be? You know, whether it was through creation, evolution, however you want to put it, however everything got here. The fact of the matter is, if these creatures do in fact exist, they have got to be the most interesting creatures on the planet, and I want to see them. I want to know from a distance. You know, I don't want to see them.
Okay, so wait, hold on a second. We're not going to speed by like that. Like you didn't just say what you just said. You just said that you want to see this terrifying, blood-sucking, cannibalistic,
hell yeah,
indestructible pterodactyl. But you won't go with me to go find the floating island in Scotland. You want to put me on a leash, but this thing's indestructible. It's indestructible. It's indestructible.
Listen.
I am reiterating what we're saying here. This thing is indestructible, but Khelek wants to go see that one. She doesn't want to go see the Wendy Boy who can be killed. She doesn't want to go see the Cynocephali who can be killed. No, she wants to see from a distance, which isn't safe anyways. It's the size of a bus. Say it again. I dare you.
I wouldn't see the ghost boys. I wouldn't see all the ghosties and that stuff because those are like ethereal creatures. You can't. No. See, from a physical creature, you can get away. You can hide.
Nah, that's all sorts of bass backwards. That is all sorts of bass backwards. I am stating this now for future reference, how bass backwards this is. Okay.
And for the record, I would totally go find that island. Hi, Brazil. Yes, I would find it. I would totally go on that expedition.
It's Avalon.
Just like I do that flying thing. You just.
I didn't mean to do that.
Am I going to fight?
I don't know why it's doing that. Stop. Apparently. The app wants to make sure that Tina has been heard that she's not going to fight the flying thing. Though I have heard. She will be heard. She will be heard thrice. Okay? Thrice times. Although I have heard that the power of the chinchilla, if I am saying this correctly, because I do not speak Spanish. I do apologize to our Latin listeners. Sorry, I almost coughed. Our Latin listeners, I do not speak Spanish properly, and I apologize for that if I am mispronouncing the name. But I have heard that the power of the flip-flop, I'm going to put it in my terms so that I don't butcher your language, your beautiful language, any more than I already have, is lethal and deadly, especially in the hands of a grandmother. That thing is lethal. So, I mean, if we take lessons, Tina, that's all I'm saying. If we take lessons from a Latin grandmother with the power of the flip-flop, you may actually be able to throw your shoe. It could take it out. We don't know. It could happen. I'm just saying. I'm looking for. I'm submitting my application now for wonderful, loving Latin grandmothers who are willing to teach me the power of the flip-flop, please. And thank you. Anyways, moving on.
So
you're going to have to call the Russians or Elon Musk because NASA doesn't fire any more rockets on its own anymore.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I mean, Elon what is the word? Listen, tongue, I'm going to need you to work properly. Eccentric enough to be down for sending Tina to Pluto with a lifetime supply of chicken nuggets. He actually has the funds to do that. So he may, just be like for, just to cuss and discuss. Let's see what happens. She is escaping the planet to leave the cryptids. He might even fund us looking for cryptids. I don't know. Elon, if you're out there, we want to hunt cryptids. You've got,
yes, please.
You've got the money. We've got the time. Just saying. Anyway.
I'm down.
Oh, Khelek. Wow. I thought we was cool. I thought we was cool. With Sooth going ahead and being like, oh, let's go into the Pandora's box. Let's open it. And then we be the ones that be like, let's not. I thought we was cool. I thought, I'm going to pull a Patrick real quick. I thought what we had was special. I thought I was wrong, Khelek. You betrayed in my heart. I feel it. You know what?
I told you it was her fault. It's not my fault this time.
Listen, I'm going to give you 2 weaknesses of this Snallygaster, all right? 2 weaknesses. There's 2 ways to kill it. You either get the Deweo on your side, or you have a moonshine distillery. That's how you get rid of them. Now, we'll go into the moonshine distillery first, because this is probably the most...
You're telling me that this giant creature has a weakness for moonshine?
Well, let's just say that it may have been a scapegoat for moonshiners. Part of the history of this thing.
For mountain lightning?
Yep. All right. So
okay.
This is how this happens.
All right, tell me how this works.
So
no.
In the time of the dry period when alcohol was illegal, the moonshiners would be making alcohol, and to basically keep the cops off of off their tails, they came up with this idea of using the Snallygaster as a way to keep the cops out of the woods at night. And it also gives them a reason to have a screaming sound, or a freight train's locomotive whistle sound with their machinery that happened when they were working on making the moonshine. So they would blame that on the Snallygaster, and that kept the cops away from their moonshine distilleries. So, now.
I kind of like this thing. I, too, have a weakness for mountain lightning. I'm especially fond of the mountain lightning pickles. Those are very delicious. So, if I just, I'm going to throw them at him and just be like, have one! It's dill! Just take it and run. See, look, Tina, we're already coming up with solutions right there. We're just gonna throw mountain lightning at it and run. It'll save you.
One of the legends is that this thing actually happened to be flying over a moonshine distillery, and the fumes from the distillery ended up basically, I don't know if it killed it midair or if it just made it lose flight, but supposedly this thing came crashing down and landed in the distillery alcohol and died. That's what they say. There is no proof of this. There is, this is full on from the back hills, myth and legend, folklore, no proof whatsoever.
I don't care. I accept it as fact, and I love it. I love every word of that. Leave it to the hillbillies of the Appalachians
They'll
to
take
be
it down.
able to take down an indestructible, cannibalistic, primitive, vampiric pterodactyl with moonshine. Right? I love it. I love it. I accept it. That's it. It's done. That's it. It's over. I love it. They can take down anything. Anything at this point. I don't care. I don't care. I love every minute. Heroes. They are heroes. That's it. Find you a hillbilly. Just do it. And hillbillies are great. I know lots of them, and they're fantastic people. Their culture is amazing. Who they are is amazing. I love it. I'm just saying, find you a hillbilly. They will find a way. Indestructible? I don't think so. There's nothing indestructible.
There's
nothing.
Always a weakness.
There's always a weakness. They will find it.
Let's listen to these comments here.
Oh, so Khelek is just betraying everybody today.
Hey, now.
He's just betraying everybody. First, she betrays
Khelek
me
the betrayer.
with the finding something that's in Maryland. All right.
Mm-hmm.
First, and
I'm sorry.
Betraying thy love. It's like, no, I love you so much. I'm just joking. I'm just being stupid. But then you're going to go ahead. You go ahead and say you want to put a leash on Sooth, but want to go see this indestructible thing. All right.
Exactly.
You know what? I think I'm the only one here that don't want to die. I think you two want to go ahead and do all the crazy stuff. Y'all can take Jessie with you because she still wants to go to Skinwalker Ranch.
I'd go Skinwalker Ranch. Maybe.
Jesse's my people, man. I'm just saying.
No! They don't fire any more rockets. Well, you know what? Let me just email Elon Musk real quick. And be like, hey, buddy. Hey, you remember when I gave you the last chicken nugget that was on my plate? You remember that? He doesn't. I never gave him that. I probably would never do that. I don't even give it to my own brother, and that's my own flesh and blood right there. But you remember the last chicken nugget I gave you? Yeah. I need a rocket.
No, you need to share the last nugget with Elon. I'm sure he would love it. I'm sure he would. He would get tickled over that, especially because you want to go to Pluto because of the cryptids.
I bet he would find a way.
He would. He would find a way. Knowing Elon, he would find a way. Like I said, nothing is indestructible. Never say never. What is that?
That's true.
American Tell? Feifel? Never say never? That's what it is. Never say never. Exactly. It could happen. Anything is possible.
Didn't y'all know that moonshine and mountain lightning is the cure-all for everything?
Literally everything. Literally everything. Indestructible, ancient cryptid. We got this. And they're going to jump into that freaking... Right? Hold my moonshine. I got this. It's the equivalent of Florida man going, hold my burr. Hold my burr. Watch this. The hillbillies literally said, watch this. And they cut they'll cut those two, they'll make like the Franken cars, and they'll cut like a truck and a van in half and like put it together. They'll jump into one of those suckers and they'll just like take that thing down with a moving like distillery of moonshine. It'll happen. I'm serious. If I'm telling you, if there's ever an apocalypse, the rednecks, the hillbillies, that's team A. That's where I'm going. Team A. Okay.
For real.
They come up with the craziest inventions and I love it. It's incredible. I love that stuff. So yeah, you can't convince me otherwise.
Now they also have a different arch enemy than just moonshine. So apparently their arch enemy is the Deweo, which is also another cryptid.
You know this cryptid. We've talked about this cryptid.
Yes, we have.
This cryptid is amazing. He's great. He's noble.
Now, hold on. Here's the description of this thing. Bipedal, so stands on 2 feet, stands between 6 and 9 feet tall, is covered in hair, and has a big bushy tail with the head of a wolf. What does that sound like to you? Cynocephali. So we have talked about that before. In fact, that was our very first podcast, I believe. So, looks like Sooth is reconnecting. So the Deweo is essentially the Cynocephali, which also, Tina, that means that you've got a Cynocephali buddy somewhere in Maryland, because that's where everything takes place. But I guess these things are mortal enemies where they literally, when they see each other, they fight it out. They duke it out. And so it's crazy. There you've got the Cynocephali Wolfman, and then you've got the Snallygaster, who are mortal enemies, which makes me wonder if the Snallygaster is in fact older than where we first know it from, which is the 1730s. So, I mean, if it's a mortal enemy of the Cynocephali, it had to have been around for a long time. So, yeah. Hang on one second. We are definitely having technical difficulties here. Bear with me. See if I can get her back on. Okay, so just got word she will be back shortly, so we'll go ahead and continue on. The Snallygaster, in my opinion, if I was to pick any kind of crazy natural creature that this could possibly be, I would think it would be a pterosaur. And I say that because you've got the long pointy beak, which pterosaurs had, with the sharp razor teeth. I don't believe in the whole octopus tentacle things coming out of the mouth. I think that was probably an embellishment that took place to scare people. And so I'm not really thinking that's part of the thing. But I do think that, I mean, you've got the pterosaurs, which have the leathery wings. Oh, is she back? Is she back? Yes? No? All right. Looks like she's still having technical difficulties. But yeah, they've got the leathery wings like a pterosaur. They have the sharp, meat hook talons, which the pterosaurs had these, talon-like claws that would come out of the tops of their wings. So, and the pterosaurs, the largest of those, of that, pterodactyl, those creatures, they do fall in that size category of 30 to 40 feet wingspans. So it is very possible that these early German settlers were in fact seeing a prehistoric dinosaur. These pterodactyls or these pterosaurs. At least that's my thought on it. Another thing is that the pterosaurs were actually found on the eastern side of America. So it is in fact possible that, so a little bit of history about the Appalachian mountain range. They are actually older than any other mountain range in North America. That's why they're actually lower than like the Rockies and the Sierra Nevadas, because they're older. They've had time to settle and drop down. They've lowered in elevation due to just age. But that also means that because they're much older things may live there still. And because there are so many areas that are uncovered or, undiscovered, it's possible that some prehistoric creatures still exist. I mean, they talk about that in the Congo, dinosaurs still existing. Like they've talked about the plesiosaur possibly still existing, and even raptors. So it's not so far-fetched to believe that a pterodactyl or a pterosaur may in fact still be alive today in the Appalachian Mountains. So now there are some things that I don't know how these people know this, but for instance, the period of incubation for one of these eggs of the Snallygaster is supposed to be 20 years. So it lives for 20 years, and there's a 20-year hatching cycle for the new one to appear, which I find convenient, and I don't know how anybody would ever know that. But they say that the egg is supposed to be the size of a full-size barrel, or like a keg. So that's a big, big egg. That's all I'm saying.
Can you hear me?
Hey, you're back. Hi. Welcome back.
So, speaking of the universe being complete jackhole, my brand new laptop just decided to go, hey. So right now, at this exact moment, we're going to do technical difficulties and do a configuration and boot you completely all the way off. So I am currently on my old setup with my Wi-Fi headphones to come back.
Well, welcome back. Glad to have you back.
Woo, I'm back. So what are we talking about? What's going on? What did I miss?
All right. So I was just talking about how the Snallygaster could potentially be a pterosaur and how it fits into the Appalachian Mountains, and just kind of the origins and that ancient, prehistoric history of it. So, yeah.
Nice.
Now,
okay, giant egg.
Now
got it.
We've pretty much covered everything on the Snallygaster, but we haven't talked about the Raven Mocker yet. So,
oh yeah, that thing. Okay, this thing is really interesting. Let me see. Yes, I'm going to tell you about this one. This one got me. Okay, it's all sorts of confusion for me. And the reason why I say that is because there's so many different versions. You've got one, and it comes from the First Nations, the Cherokee people, okay, in the Appalachian Mountains. And in one version, you have it as a shapeshifter that can appear as an older person, man or woman, like an elderly person, okay? And they can shapeshift from this elderly person into something like a crow or a raven and fly away. But then you have it as a Bigfoot. A Bigfoot.
Right. Now, one thing that gets me is the only time that I've heard it referred to like a Bigfoot is like the Destination America show, Mountain Monsters. And I haven't really heard any of the actual Cherokee Nation reports of that being the case with the Bigfoot. It's always this like raven-like creature that, don't get me wrong, that's terrifying. Like, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if the whole Bigfoot creature, I don't know if that's actually, like, what do you think?
Well,
you think it's more of it, or you think it's more of the Bigfoot?
I think it's more of the elderly person that can shapeshift into a raven.
That's my thought too.
It's just a thought. It's just my opinion. Okay. And my opinion comes with a grain of salt. Okay. I'm just here to talk about it. I'm not the one who created it. I'm not the one who made the lore on this cryptid. But it is terrifying. And let me tell you why it's so terrifying. Okay.
The Raven Mocker, or the Woman of the Woods, is supposedly a shape-shifting Bigfoot-like creature of the Cherokee people of the Appalachian Mountains. Okay, or Appalachian, Appalachia. I like to say Appalachia, but it's regional dialect. Okay. The abilities and the hunting behaviors of this cryptid is what kind of creeps me out. Okay. It is attracted to death, to people who are sickly and dying. And their whole thing is they need to get to this person who is on their deathbed before they die. And they basically torment them and get their fear levels up like real bad right before they die. And then they take their heart. And there's no signs of them taking their heart, okay? Like a physical appearance. Like they don't go through the chest. It's not all gnarly and gross and gory and stuff. They like somehow get to the person's heart without leaving a mark on them.
Right.
And then, and then they eat the heart so that they can take what this person, like the years and days and minutes this person would have had, and inject it into their bodies to make them live longer. And
now, one thing about these is that, so with the person being on their deathbed, usually they're surrounded by loved ones and everything, but these raven mockers were said to be invisible, and they were not solitary beings. Like there would be several of them, like ready to fight over this heart and consume it. So like there's usually several of them that come in, and I believe they can be both. They can take the appearance of both men and women, but they take the appearance of the person that they consume. Mm-hmm. So it's there, and only like powerful medicine men can actually see them for who they really are, see through the invisible glamour or the look of the person, that this glamour of the person that is past. They can see past that. And if this raven mocker is seen in its true form, it has 7 days to live. It will only live for 7 more days, and then it dies.
Exactly. And they can't, once they're known, once they're figured out, you know, when somebody goes, aha, I know what you are.
I see you. I see you.
I seen it with my own eyes. Then they're like, oh no, you can't save me, no. And then they die 7 days later, all withered up and gross. Bleh. But no, really, like they do move in pairs.
Right.
And
I read this very interesting, I guess, ritual that is done by the Cherokee elders or medicine men, and to basically protect the sick or injured, or the person who's trying to get better, to protect them. They have this ritual that they do, and I'll read it if you guys don't mind listening. I'll read what they do. So when the raven mocker comes to the house, they find others of their kind waiting there. Unless there is a doctor on guard who knows how to drive them away, they go inside all invisible and frighten and torment the sick person until they kill him. Sometimes to do this, they even lift the person from the bed and throw them on the floor while their friends think they're struggling for breath. But in reality, it's these raven mockers pushing them around and trying to cause fear to basically cause them to die. So after the evil spirits kill them or kill the person, they take out the heart, they eat it, and so add to their own lives, as many days or years that they've taken from their victim. But so the medicine man, to keep watch, they would basically watch the person until the burial took place, because once they were buried, the raven mockers would no longer come after these people. But they were said, I'm trying to find it here. They were said to, let me see. They drive sharpened sticks into each corner of the house. And I guess at about noontime, the medicine man gets ready for the old tobacco, which he fills, in his pipe. He then wraps the pipe in a black cloth. The sacred tobacco is smoked only for this purpose. He then goes out into the forest and returns just before dark, about which time the spirit would arrive. Lighting the pipe, he goes slowly around the house, puffing the smoke in the direction of every trail by which the spirit might approach. He then goes into the house to wait. When the spirit arrives, the sharpened sticks on the sides of the house shoot up into the air and come down like an arrow upon the head. This causes the spirit to die within 7 days. So that is the ritual that they would do to prevent these raven mockers from taking the lives of their victims. Yeah, I thought that was pretty intense.
Intense. That's really intense.
Yeah. All right, we got a comment.
Please don't tell me I have to start kicking every elderly person I see now.
You would. You would. No, you don't.
Please don't do that. That would be bad.
No elder abuse.
There have been some interesting stories that I've heard of these raven mockers, like a hunter. I heard one story where this hunter came into, he was going through the wilderness and came to this hunting lodge. And when he got there, he heard the sound of the ravens. And then all of a sudden he saw this older gentleman, and that looked kind of off and a little bit jerky, but, this older gentleman who was like, please stay with us. We haven't had meat in so long, and all of this. And then his wife, quote unquote, shows up, this elderly woman who, yes, please stay with us. And he's like, no. And he left and went out, found, a bunch of friends. They came back to the place because something was very off about these two, and they found the two elderly people, quote unquote, dead, deceased, in this hunting lodge, and they were not right. So they burned the hunting lodge along with whatever these creatures were, so that nothing could come of them.
Damn.
So to me, this thing screams Wendy Boy vibes. Seriously.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, another comment here.
There is a sweet old lady in my neighborhood, in my little cul-de-sac, and she's the sweetest old lady in the entire cul-de-sac. And there's a couple of older couples here. And it's just her. Her husband passed away a while ago, and she's so sweet. Every time I see her, hi baby, how you doing? I'm doing good. How you doing, man? I'm blessed, highly favored. She's the cutest little elderly. Please don't tell me I have to go across the parking lot and punt her like a field goal now, please.
Unless she invites you in for a delicious meat dinner, I would say no. You're fine.
You should be all right. I think you're okay.
Don't go punching old ladies, please. That'd be bad. You might just get the cops called on you. Just saying.
Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. Poor Tina. You poor thing.
But yes. So, yeah. So these things have been known all throughout, the Cherokee history, like through their folklore and legend. And they were supposed. Now, I don't know if I would consider them a cryptid or not, because technically they're supposed to be powerful witches, the most powerful out of all the witches. Now, in fact, they are said to be the envy of all the witches, of that, of the Cherokee people. In fact, the lesser quote unquote witches would, when they would find a dead raven mocker, they would essentially desecrate the body and destroy it and get their revenge, for, I guess, being better than them, or I don't know exactly. They just don't like them.
It was jealousy. I mean, that sounds like straight up jealousy to me. I'm just saying. But,
I would agree. And I don't know. They're crazy because I guess when they fly, like embers and flame come off of their wings, and they're supposed to be these terrifying beings. But I don't know. You think they're real? I tend to think they are, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think anything's possible. That's what I think. And I think that they're terrifying. But kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's terrifying, but at the same time, I feel like it's the pinnacle of what we all strive to be. There's like a lesson in there somewhere, I'm sure, that I'm just not seeing at this moment. There's a lesson about immortality coming with a cost,
For sure.
And
now, here's a question for you.
What?
Oh, go ahead. What? Go ahead.
No, what's the question? Tell me, what's the question? Ask away.
I was going to say, if a Wendy boy and a Raven mocker got into, a fight, who do you think would win? Who would you put your money on?
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Now,
because both are technically supposed to be witches. And, if the Raven mocker is supposed to be the most powerful of all the witches, maybe they're more powerful than Wendy boy.
I'm going to have to put my money on the Raven mocker. I'm going to have it. Are we starting a ground cryptid fighting ring? Because I will go out and I will find me some cryptids and I will have the best team. I will have the best team for underground cryptid.
We may have to do the cryptid. How would you put that? The battle royale of the cryptids.
Yes.
The last one standing, like who would win?
Look, I'm putting my money on
do an episode on that.
I would too, and I'm letting you know right now. If it was like between the Wendigo and the Raven mocker, I'm putting my money on the Raven mocker. No. You're the one who lives up there. I live down here. I'm good. You're the one who can't say it. But I'm letting you know right now, the Raven mocker, because she got them wings, that's got the fire on there, and the Windy boy can get taken down by fire. I'm putting my money on the Raven mocker.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And they go after the heart, and the only way you can kill a Windy boy is with fire and taking out their heart, and that's what the Raven that word that I can't say right now, the Raven mocker. That's what they do.
And they don't even have to cut them open to get it. They can just go right in and steal that heart. Exactly. You might be onto something there.
I am the winner. Winner.
The Raven mocker wins this round.
The Raven mocker wins. I am the winner. I feel like Mortal Kombat right now. Finish it.
Yeah. Right? What would be their fatality? Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm loving it. I already won. What's the name of this game? I win. Have y'all seen
right?
That movie, Big Daddy. How come he gets all the easy work? Hip hop,
hip-hop.
Do it. Say the word. You want it?
Yeah. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Yes, you can.
Hippopotamus. Hippopotami. Hip-hop. Oh, goodness. All right. We got a comment here.
There's actually a website where you can do like a Hunger Games kind of thing with any character or person that you want. You would just have to put like the image in the certain slots and then just hit start and then go on by the day and see who dies, see who lives, all that stuff. We might have to do that.
That's cool.
That could be
I would totally do that.
Like a cool, so that everybody can see it. What? Guys, wait.
Heck yes.
Now I actually want to do this now.
I do too. I totally want to do
That would be
it.
Incredible.
It would be.
Yeah. We need to do more research on that.
Now we got to do it. Now it's the thing. Now we have to do it.
The Battle of the Cryptids.
The Battle of the Cryptids. Now we got to do it.
Oh, I'm totally down for that.
I am too. Speaking of battling, there was a challenge. Okay. I don't know if anybody here knows this or our listeners know this. We have a tic-tac. A tic-tac-toe, a tickety-tac, a TikTok. We have a TikTok. Okay. We don't have any videos on there yet, but we have a TikTok. And on TikTok, there was a challenge to watch a spooky movie called Incantation. And our wonderful social media management team was like, they were scared, okay? They were super spooked by this movie. So, of course, I had to watch it. So I took the challenge. I did personally myself. I took the challenge. And I watched the movie. And I could see why they were spooked. Definitely. I'm not going to give anything away. You have to watch the movie. You can find it on Netflix if you dare. Okay? Because that's the challenge.
That'll be
you're supposed
for me.
I know it's a hard pass for you, but for me, who like jumping head first into things like this, I did it. Okay, Sooth did it. All right. So the challenge was you had to watch it without looking away and without turning it off. You had to watch the whole thing, like through and through, and I did. I watched it through and through. I will say that I didn't participate in any chanting. There was no participation trophy for me on that. But it was really good. It's Taiwanese. It's a Taiwanese horror film. And it's actually really, really good. And it's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, you should watch it. I mean, if you dare to watch it. If you're up for the space.
Now we got coming. Here we go. It's coming.
If you do decide to do that challenge, like Sue said, we're not going to go ahead and spoil what happens in the movie, but the challenge that me and Jesse saw, we both handle the social media, so if you hear Jesse, I'm talking about him. We was supposed to watch the movie without stopping it at all. And without looking away, no matter how much you got uncomfortable. And we was like, we can do this. No, we should have did it. We should have looked away. We should have ended it. That movie gave me the heebity-jibbity-weebity-jeez.
Yeah.
I learn from other people. This is how I survive. I learn from other people. I have learned from you. I am not watching this movie. I refuse. Hard pass.
You definitely learned from Jesse and Tina, because they were not okay. They were not okay after this movie.
I'm glad you volunteered as tribute.
I did volunteer as tribute. I made it out alive. Thank you, Tic Tac. I made it out alive. So that's the thing. And I guess that wraps it up for tonight. We had some technical difficulties tonight.
We sure did.
You not want us talking about these cryptids in particular tonight. But I want to say thank you to everyone who came out and listened and participated. We love our listener participation. That's what makes this fun. If you've got any suggestions, comments, feedback, some constructive criticism, hit that link right above our icon heads up there. Right there. This link right here has, thank you once again to our social media management team. This link right here takes you to the everything. And I mean the everything. It takes you to the Spotify. It takes you to the iHeartRadio. It takes you to the Discord. It takes you to Twitter, to the Twit. It takes you to the Tic Tacs. It's got all of the above, literally above our heads. So hit it, join it, become a part of it, love it, live it, all the wonderfulness. If you want, you can also go to our stereo profiles, and we've got a link to our ID there. If you're not following that, go hit that, follow it, find us. You can find us under the hashtag of PCPS. You can also find us for Paranatural Cryptid Preservation Society. And if you can't hit the link because you're listening to us on Spotify or iHeartRadio, you already know. Just look us up on Instagram. Look us up as PCPS on the TikTok. If you do the TikTok, we're easy to find. We're the only one like us. That's it. We're individuals. And just for some funsies, if you do look us up on Spotify, we're kind of the top right now for entertainment podcasts. And we haven't even been there for that long. So that's awesome. Thank you guys for that, because you guys are awesome for that. That is fabulous. Oh, we got comments. What we got?
And this may have just all been a coincidence, but it was really spooky after the movie because things started happening. Jesse has a really, really good computer, and his 2 monitors just stopped working out of nowhere, which has never happened before, ever, not once at all. The only time that they have shut off is if like a storm happened and the internet power went out, something like that. You know what I mean? My phone started acting up. His phone started acting up. We felt incredibly nauseous during the movie, extremely. After the movie, he went to go to sleep so he can go to work, and I guess I was still so nauseous that I ended up throwing up. We were still nauseous hours after seeing the movie. At his job, he was hearing things because he was realized that my recording ended at 1 minute. I don't know how much it recorded. I hope it stopped when I was telling you about the paranormal stuff that was happening to us after the movie. His monitors was acting up, phones was acting up. We was both really, really sick. I actually threw up. He was feeling really dizzy. What else happened? He was hearing stuff at his job, which he goes to by himself, like to fix up everything, make sure if there's anything messed up, he go ahead and does it. It was just really, really weird. He had a really weird dream that involved like a red snake and a bucket of blood. Like, this all happened after we saw the movie, mind you. So you've been warned. If you do it, don't come after me.
It's true. They immediately got in touch with me. Let me know about all of the spooky and crazy things that happened because of the TikTok challenge and watching this movie. And so, of course, that piqued my interest. After I spoke with them and gave them a few pointers and tips and tricks and helped them, calm down and get a hold of their fear, I would watch the movie. It's a great movie. I mean, it's made really well. I really enjoyed the movie myself, but I love the creepy and the horror movies, so it was good for me. But yeah, when you put it out there, I'm going to put it out there for everybody, for all of our listeners. Be careful what you put out into the universe, and be careful what you bring into your home, because it may just seem a movie. It may just seem like an innocent movie, and they may tell you, oh, it's fine, it was all made up. But once you make something up, everything was made up at one point. Religion, gods, myths, legends, cryptids, you give it power, okay? So you have to be careful. You choose what you let into your home, into your mind, and you give it power once you give it emotions and thoughts and actions and feelings. We actually discussed this in a previous podcast about new cryptids that have come up, like the Faceless Man and Spoopy Squidward.
Yep.
It's one of my favorites, Spoopy Squidward. So you have to be careful. So be cautious. Give yourself some discernment. That's why I passed,
because I don't want to bring that into, I don't want to invite that into my house, my psyche. Like I would just rather avoid the whole thing and focus on positives and, peace and love and joy and happiness and, the stuff that is edifying to life. So that's why I won't watch those kind of movies. But that's just me. Everybody is their own.
That's true. To each your, like I said, I always say that to everybody. To each your own. Do your own thing, boo-boo. I will be here no matter what. But
just don't force me to watch it, and we'll be okay.
Exactly. Look to the wise. Use some discernment when you make choices. Okay? And, it may seem really innocent. It may seem like an innocent little challenge. It may seem like an innocent little movie or an innocent little song. But you do invite it into your life, and things do influence your thoughts and feelings and emotions and the way you view the world. So if you're ready for it, if you've got your big girl or big boy or them panties on, okay? Babies, bye babies, all you peoples out there. If you got your pants on and you're ready to go, then do it, honey. Full force. Go for it. I will always encourage you to go and do the thing, but do it with caution and knowledge.
The Tide Pod thing was a challenge too. Just saying. That's all I'm going to say on that. Just because it's a challenge doesn't mean you got to do it.
Use discernment. That's what I'm saying. Use discernment. Go in it with knowledge and caution. And you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Don't cave to the peer pressure. But then again, I'm not going to be mad at you either for doing what you're going to do, because it's your life. Do your thing. Anyway, totally got sidetracked, off topic, all that wonderfulness. The challenge was fun. I enjoyed it. Not everybody enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it. I had a good time. The movie was great. Use your own discretion. If you want to watch it, fabulous. If you don't, that's fabulous. Do your own thing, boo-boo. As I was saying, hit the link up there. It has all the links to all the things. If you enjoyed the podcast, give us a like, give us a follow, all of that stuff that normal podcasters and YouTubers and all that say. I'm not really good at it. So yeah, do that. Hit the buttons. Do the thing. Thanks for joining us. We'll be here Friday night for Paranormal Umbrella. We're doing CERN and the Mandela effects, and we will have a guest speaker with us.
Heck yes.
Who will also be joining us to talk about Mandela effects over the years. And does CERN have an effect on the dimensions? I say it does. Some other people say it does. Some other people say it doesn't. We'll see. We'll custom discuss. Join us then Friday night for Paranormal Umbrella to find out. Put in your 2 cents. Have a discussion with us. Let's see how this goes. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to check under your bed and salt.
And tip your waiters.
That's right. We'll be here all week. Bye now.
Have a good night, everyone.